welcome everybody to our next live talk. As I already announced a few minutes ago, we will talk about how the Internet of Things and lightweight plastics can revolutionize urban mobility. This is surely a very interesting question. And I have two gentlemen with me here on stage who know everything about either the Internet of Things, urban mobility, or lightweight plastics. Let me introduce to you Oliver Risse. He's the CEO and founder of a company called Floatility. And Martin Baumert, who is our head of technical development for consumer products at BASF. So we start with you, Oliver. Happy to see you again, first of all. As I said, you're the CEO and founder of Floatility, and most of the people have already noticed that you are somehow connected to this wonderful piece of engineering. So what's Floatility all about, and what's the e-floater about?
Thanks, Richard, for having us here. Welcome to all of you. My name is Oliver. I'm the founder of Floatility. We are a small little company who started 3 years ago, where we wanted to change the way how we transport, how we do our mobility transportation inside cities for a short distance. So we want to solve the global problem of last mile mobility. That means short distance mobility, how to get from your doorstep to the next public transport, and from public transport back to your workplace. That's what we tried to revolutionize.
Okay, and how does BASF come into play in this revolution?
Yeah, we wanted to build a new type of vehicle that's an intelligent vehicle, but also with lightweight materials. So we wanted to look into next generation materials. And that's where we got in touch with Martin Baumert from BASF in Singapore. At that time, where we said, look, we have an idea, a concept of a new vehicle, but we need somebody who has expertise and knowledge and engineering capacities from a materials point of view. That's where everything started.
Okay, Martin, so Oliver just described what he was looking for. What did you offer him then?
Well, actually, at the beginning, when I met him, I still remember today when we saw each other in Singapore, in my office, and where he showed me the picture of the concept bike 1865, with basically the idea was we had a concept bike based on modern materials. And now we had the chance, actually, to make something that is reality based on our materials. So that's something that I was quite excited about immediately.
I can imagine. I think we had the concept by 1865 was here at K 3 years ago. It was our main highlight somewhere there. So now we can see it, we can test it here, it's done. What kind of materials and what kind of expertise did BASF bring into this project?
So basically, the specifications that Oliver gave us were quite stringent because he wanted something that is durable, that is fun to drive, and that's also very good looking. And that's why we actually looked into our broad product portfolio, ranging from polyamide, TPU, polyurethane. We then actually put in some of our innovations, since of course 80% of this e-floater is based on performance materials from us. And I think what I would like to highlight is this wheel, where we actually have a maintenance-free wheel, which has the feeling of a pneumatic wheel. Okay. Because we replace the pneumatic, the tube, with our Infinergy.
Okay. That's interesting. I mean, Oliver, maybe Martin just mentioned a maintenance-free wheel. I think this is also very important for your business model, not only for the e-floater, but for everything that's behind it. Maybe you can talk a little more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Our business model is very different from a reseller's point of view. So we are not producing a product that we are selling out to a consumer, not a B2C product. We are entirely focusing on a B2B market. That means we are operating a fleet of vehicles inside city centers. That means also it's a sharing economy model. It's not a model where we are selling a product only. And from that point of view, of course, me as a manufacturer, but also a deployer of vehicles, I'm very interested to have a maintenance-free materials and also a robust material, because it has to last very long time.
What I would also be interested in, and I think some of the people who are listening to us right now is, I mean, Floatility is a company with how many people currently?
Right now we have 7 people in Singapore, but also in Germany and Hamburg. Okay. So we are pretty widely distributed with just a couple of people.
Okay, and I think we at BASF, 113,000, something like that. How does that cooperation work?
That was actually a very interesting experience for us as well, because from one time to the other, we have access to knowledge which we could never think of before. So we are dealing with people in China, we're dealing with people in Japan, we're dealing with BASF people in Singapore, but also in Ludwigshafen and Lemförde. So it's a very, very global approach to develop a new type of vehicle. For us as a small company, obviously very important to have always people around us who really support us and really help us to find our path within the big organization, the corporate world of BASF.
Okay, now Martin, you can tell us the truth. How is it really to work with a startup company?
No, actually, it's fun, I would say. It's fun. It's different, of course, because it's not so process-oriented as we usually have with our customers. But of course, as Oliver mentioned, we can adapt ourselves. And I think the really nice thing is that we manage to work together and really as a team. And I think this, for me, is a success factor of any product development, is that you're very close with your customer working as a team. And you mentioned colleagues in China, Indonesia, now also Lemförde supported Oliver. And then I would also like to thank, of course, the team members here.
If I'm allowed to say one sentence to this is for me a very good experience as well, to work with a global group, because there are specialists everywhere, and we have access to those expertise. And that is, for us, during development phase, super important. So very happy to be partner of this.
So now, of course, we're coming to the end of our live talk. Now I need to know what the future plans for you at Floatility are, and how do we imagine the cooperation to continue?
For us, a very important feature of the vehicle is that it's not just a vehicle, which is there in a fleet. It's an intelligent vehicle. There's a telematics system inside. So we are communicating in real time to a server backend. That means this is the Internet of Things. It's a real thing, and it's the Internet. It's a connected vehicle, where we get permanently information about the vehicle. And that's very, very important, of course, for us to operate a system, but also to learn about the product to make it better in the future. Yeah. And I think this is also something very interesting for BASF.
Yeah, what I'm interested, so one of the key innovations here is digitalization and Internet of Things. And what Oliver actually will do, or is already had done, is he has sensors in the e-floater which collects data about the speed, the temperature, the weight that has been used here, also any bumps, and we can then actually predict failures. Because of course, we designed the e-floater that it has, let's say, that all materials last during the lifetime. But of course, in some cases, you might have special points, and this way we can do a predictive maintenance based on our materials.
So it's basically an ongoing pilot test with constant further improvement. This is a very interesting approach. Thank you very much for those insights into the cooperation. Oliver and Martin will be here on the stage. If anybody has questions, just feel free to approach them, ask your questions. Guys, thank you very much. The next live talk will be at 5 p.m. today, and I'm looking forward to see you all. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Richard.